Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for joining today's Feature Spotlight. Hi, welcome. Well, my name is Abby. Thank you so much for joining Mangomint's Feature Spotlight webinar today. So today's topic is all about calendar and appointments. So I'm really going to show you all how you can take control of your schedule in Mangomint. We're going to dive into managing your schedule with our really intuitive and easy to use calendar. I'm going to show you guys a few calendar tips and tricks. And I'll also show you how easy it is to create and edit appointments in Mangomint. So of course, as always, feel free to drop any questions that you have in the chat. I'll try to check on those, especially as we get near the end of the webinar. And anything that we don't happen to get to, we'll definitely follow up with you one-on-one after the webinar as well. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dive right into calendar and appointments. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen and we will go from there. Okay, and I am now sharing my demo account in Mangomint for the Seven Lakes Salon and Spa. So you should all be seeing my calendar view, and just let me know if anybody cannot see that. Okay, so first, I think it's going to be really helpful for us to get a little bit more acquainted with the calendar in Mangomint. So as you can see here, we are looking at the calendar view right now. The calendar is always the first screen that you're going to see when you log into Mangomint. So it's right at your fingertips when you log in. You want to make sure you have all the important information available to you in terms of your schedule. Because as we all know, we all live and die by the schedule, right? So we want to make sure that when you log in, this is the first thing that you see. So you always know what's happening at any given time. So by default, when you log in here, your calendar is going to show the day view. And you can see right up here, you can select either day or week. When you're looking at the day view, this view is going to allow you to see the schedules and appointments of multiple staff members at one time. So really helpful. It gives you kind of a bird's eye view of everything happening that day. And then if you want, you can also use the filters that we have up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on our filters. And as you can see, we do have a few different options in terms of what filters you can use. So, right now we're looking at all staff and resources. We could also update this if we wanted to and see all staff and resources, or right here, we were just looking at all staff. So this is all staff. And then we'll go here, you can click on all staff and resources. And then you can continue to select, maybe for example, I only want to see equipment and tools. So you can go ahead and click that and kind of zoom in only on your equipment and tools. So I really love using these filters. And also you can use this day view to check out what's happening across different locations. So if you have a multi-location set up in your Mangomint account, in this case, for example, I do actually have 3 different locations set up. And so you can also click between these and view the schedule for a particular day for a particular location. So I love that as well. Now, let me go ahead and click back here to the main location. So that's kind of the day view. Let's say, for example, that you want to focus on one staff member at a time and see their detailed schedule over the next week. If you wanted to do that, you can actually just select the week view instead. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that right here. And so this is really nice because now we're looking at the week view for a specific staff member, and you can easily switch between specific staff members that you would like to see as well. So for example, right now we're checking out Harriet, but then we can also we can look at Jennifer White's schedule for the upcoming week. I'll click on somebody else. We can check out Andre's schedule. And then we can also check out Stella's schedule as just an example. So this is really nice if you want to drill down further and check out what's happening over the entire upcoming week for specific staff members. So I'm just going to go ahead now and go back here and just click on the day view. Bring us back to that view here. Also, kind of just continuing to tour around the calendar here, it's also super easy to navigate between different dates. So as you can see here, right now we're looking at Tuesday, October 31st. But if I want to, I can actually use these arrows that we have up here to navigate between different dates. The calendar is going to advance as you click the arrows, basically based on whether you have the day view or the week view selected. So I'll just show you an example here. Right now we do have the day view selected. And if I go ahead and click this arrow, you can see that it's advancing by 1 day. So now we're going to Wednesday, November 1st, November 2nd, Thursday, and continuing on like that. You can also easily hit today to jump right back to today. So I love that little shortcut. And then if you select the week view, what you'll notice when you use these arrows is that now when I advance, you're actually advancing by an entire week into the future. So you can go ahead and click that. Now we see the week of November 14th. I click that again. Now we're seeing the week of November 21st. And of course, you can go back the same way. And of course, you can hit that today to get back to today. So I really love to use these arrows depending on whether you need to go into the future or look back at past dates as well. And also, let's say, for example, that you want to jump ahead to a future date that is, maybe it's a specific number of weeks into the future. So let's say, for example, you have a client who wants to come back for another trim in another 6 weeks from now. So all you need to actually do is click here. And when you click on that month and year right here, then you can actually see we have this +3 weeks, +4 weeks, etc. So it's really easy for us to go and let's just select that +6 weeks, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. And now we've jumped ahead 6 weeks into the future. So I love that little shortcut. And it's really nice when you want to book out a specific number of weeks into the future. You're not going to have to waste time counting up the weeks on the calendar, anything like that. You can use this nice little shortcut and just jump based on the number of weeks that you want to advance. So really love that as well. Okay, I'm going to go back to today just so we can look at that. So now we're kind of looking at this view, and something else that you guys might notice is that this calendar actually has a lot of different colors on it. And you may be wondering, what do all of the different colors in this calendar mean? So let's just kind of take a tour through some of these colors and I'll explain those as well. So when you see a white background for a staff member, so like you can see, for example, right here, and let me actually first, we're going to go back to the day view just to look at everybody. So when you see this white background here for a staff member, that means that they are scheduled to work during that time. So we kind of check this out. What you'll notice, so you have the white here, but then you're also going to see this light gray color when you're looking at your different staff members. And so when you see the light gray color, that means that your staff member is not scheduled to work during that time. So it's really easy to see based on the working hours that you set up for your different service providers. It's super easy to at a glance to see who is even working that day or who is not scheduled during specific times during the day. Also, something else that you guys will notice here is this red line. So we've added this handy red line right here so you can easily see the current time of day. In my case, it's showing as 4 p.m. right here. But I love this because it'll show you exactly what time it is. And you can see exactly what's going on at that specific moment in time. So you can kind of focus on what's happening on your salon, in your salon and spa right now. Something else is that it's also really easy to see the status of appointments at a glance. So this is something else we've added to Mangomint to make it really easy to navigate your calendar and know instantly what's going on in your business. So each color of the appointments actually corresponds to a specific appointment status. So let me kind of walk through a couple of these. So what you'll see here is we do have this peach color. If you click on that, this actually means that we have an unconfirmed appointment. And you can also see it's unconfirmed right here on the upper right side here in the appointment panel. You're seeing right now a lot of this turquoise blue color right here. So this turquoise color means that the appointment has been confirmed. So definitely want to be seeing a lot of that. The next color that we also have, and we don't see it here right now, but I'll show you guys what that looks like, is we have a purple color. And so purple means that the appointment is waiting to start. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to go here and I'm going to click on this deluxe facial for Karen Olson. Let's go ahead and say we're a little bit past the time, but this is just a demo. So we'll go ahead and just say that she is now going to check in. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put her in the waiting room for now. And so as you guys just noticed, right now, right away, this updated to the purple color. So that means she's waiting for her appointment to start. And then if I actually go ahead and click in service, you're going to see that Karen Olson's appointment here changed to the pink color. So that's another color that you're seeing. And I'll just look, we have a couple other pink colors here. So if you click on the pink, that means that the appointment is in service right now. It's happening right now in service. So as somebody actually starts their appointment and begins the service, you'll want to click on that and put them into the in-service status, and you'll see that appointment change to pink. You'll also see there's another color you're going to see commonly, which is this dark gray appointment color. So that just means that the appointment has been completed. And you can also see here, it shows completed on the right side. So I love that. Also, something else, kind of another thing to point out here is that you're going to have canceled appointments showing up sometimes, right? So it's, inevitable that's going to happen. And so when you have a canceled appointment, and you can adjust some of the settings around this, by the way. So definitely, if you have more questions about this, reach out. But in terms of seeing your canceled appointments, they are going to show as faded and crossed out. So I'll just show you guys an example right here. If I click on this one, you can see how it's kind of faded. It's a little bit, it has that crossed out, the strike through on the text. So this one, they canceled, and it was actually a late cancellation. So this is really nice, and that's really easy to see right there alongside all the other colors there. So you can easily see the status of your appointments. Okay, so something else here. What if you have certain services, for example, that require processing or buffer time? So I know a lot of you guys listening, you may have certain services where you want to build in processing or buffer time. Obviously, for example, processing time is most common with hair coloring services. So, of course, the client is going to be occupied. They're waiting for that color to develop. But let's say, for example, you'd like the service provider to fit in another appointment during that time. So it's actually really easy to manage all of that in Mangomint and to see that on the calendar at a glance. So let's go ahead, and I'll just actually show you guys really quickly where you can set up your processing and your buffer time. In order to get to that, we're actually going to switch where we are in the app here, and we're just going to go over and click on settings. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on services. And then let's go, for example, and just check out the creative color that we have set up. So this is under my color service category. I'm going to go ahead and click on creative color. And then you can actually see here that in the details for the service, this is where you can set up or edit the processing time, the finishing time, and also you can edit the buffer time as well if you need to. So let's say I wanted to edit that. Has processing time is enabled for this. It's a 2-hour duration, and then there's 45 minutes of processing time and 30 minutes of finishing time. So if you want to finish the styling, things like that. And then, of course, if you wanted to add buffer time, you would go ahead and enable that, and you could edit the buffer time as well. But for this service, we're not going to have buffer time. So I'll just go ahead and save that. I just wanted to show you guys where you actually go to set up your processing time and your buffer time and your finishing time as well. So let's go ahead and save that. And now let's go jump back to the calendar, and I'll show you guys an example of what this actually looks like on your calendar. Okay, so now we're back here, right here in our calendar. And so what we have here is I actually have already booked the creative color earlier today, for example, with Harriet, just so you guys could see an example of what this actually looks like. So I'm going to click on this. If you guys remember what we just saw, this service does require 45 minutes of processing time. And so you can actually see here when we click on the creative color, in the right side, you'll see it says process for 45 minutes and finish for 30 minutes. And then on our calendar view, we've kind of made a really nice way so you can easily see processing time and understand right away that that is processing time. So what you're going to notice is right here, you kind of see this semi-transparent block. That means that this whole time right here is for 45 minutes is processing time. And then it wraps up with 30 minutes of finishing time back in that more solid turquoise color. So this is really nice. And as you can see in this example, Harriet, she was, applying the color for Deborah, but then during this processing time for Deborah, you can see that she actually went ahead and she had a bang trim scheduled for Karen Olson during that time because she was free during that time. They were just waiting for Deborah's color to finish processing. And so she's able to squeeze in a bang trim as well and make sure that her schedule stays really stacked. So that's great as well. So it's really easy to see your processing time on the calendar. If we look at a couple more examples, you can see like this balayage, for example, there's processing time showing here as well. So again, typically something you'll see a lot with coloring services, but you might have another use case for that as well. So we make it really easy in Mangomint to build that into your services and also to see, when those are happening on the calendar. So, what about some of you who are maybe offering other types of services? So, maybe you're offering massages or facials or other types of services that require time to do things such as set up the room and set up the station prior to the service, as well as you might require time after the service ends to reset the station or the room and to do things like clean and perform disinfecting tasks and things like that. Whether you need to, clean the station, the room, disinfect the equipment, things like that. So you can use our buffer time for that situation. So it's really easy. I already showed you guys in the services setup how to add buffer time. You'll just add that in the same area where you can edit the rest of your services. And so if you need to add buffer time to any of your services, it's super easy to do that. And so on the calendar, the buffer time is going to look different than the processing time. So what you guys will notice here is that on the calendar, this one is an example that has buffer time with it. And so on the calendar, the buffer time is always going to be outlined. So you see right here, in this example, we have a sports massage that's booked for Dylan. And as you can see here, there's 15 minutes of buffer time prior to the massage, as well as 15 minutes of buffer time after the massage as well. So they can, clean the room, disinfect, do all of that in between massages. So that's what it looks like when you have buffer time added to an appointment. So you can see what that looks like, and nothing will be able to be scheduled during this time. So that's just a couple examples of what it would look like for buffer time. And you can see kind of the difference of what processing time looks like on the calendar versus what buffer time will look like. Okay, so something else that I want to go over is let's chat a little bit more about all of the icons that you guys are seeing here that display on the appointment. So you're probably wondering what some of these icons mean. And I'll point a couple of these out. We see icon here, there's an icon here, another one here. So I love our icons that we've added to the calendar because these are actually going to give you extra clues about really important aspects of the appointment that you want to keep in mind, you want to remember. So just a couple examples here. If you look here, you can see we have a pen icon. So if we look at that, if we click here, the pen icon just means that the appointment that is scheduled here, it has an attached form that has not yet been filled out. So this would be a great reminder when we see that to nudge the client to fill that out, or maybe it's waiting for the provider to fill it out. So that just means that you have an appointment that still needs to have the form filled out. Another appointment that you might see is this star icon. So here is an example with Brian Rogers getting the Brazilian sugaring. And so the star icon indicates that the client specifically requested this staff member they specifically requested the staff member to do the service for them. And so when you see that star icon, we can see it there. We can also see it here for the creative color. It looks like Deborah, specifically requested that Harriet do this coloring service for her. So, when you see that, it's probably not a good idea to try and swap their appointment to another staff member last minute or something like that. So I love that star icon, just so you always know, what's going on with that appointment, that service provider was specifically requested. Something else you might see is this ribbon icon right here. And so this is a really nice one. I love that because it means that the client actually has one or more memberships with you. And so, when you see that ribbon icon, it's a really nice indication to, maybe you want to give them a little bit of that extra nice VIP treatment. Obviously, every client should be treated as a VIP, right? But when you see that icon, maybe go a little bit above as well for that client, or ask them how their membership is working out, how they're enjoying it, strike up a conversation, things like that. And then another icon that you'll see is these circle arrows. So I love to point this one out too. This one, and here's an example on the sports massage. So this just means that an appointment or a time block that you have set up is repeating. So whenever you see that, in this case, for example, we have the sports massage. And if you look to the right, you can see that this does repeat every 2 weeks. So that's a nice indicator that that appointment is a recurring one that is set up. So these are just a few of our icons. We actually have a few other icons as well that are going to display. I won't go through each and every one in this webinar, but I really encourage you to check out our Learning Center. We have a great article that actually goes through what every single available icon means when you see it on the calendar. So really recommend that you check that out. So I love our icons. You know, when you're starting your day, and you're kind of taking a look at the calendar for the first time, or I think, you know, so many of us, we're constantly checking on the calendar throughout the day. I really recommend that you and your staff just keep an eye out for these types of icons so that you don't miss out on any important information that's attached to the appointment. Like I said, you know, we try to make the icons not too intrusive, but just a really nice way to call out that there's something a little extra special that you want to remember about that appointment. So besides the icons, it's also just really easy to adjust your calendar display preferences and your scheduling options. So something that I love about our calendar here in Mangomint is that we've made the calendar super customizable to your needs. So I can show you just how to set up some of those settings and where those live if you want to customize it further than this. So in order to do that, all you need to do is actually go to settings and then just click here on calendar and appointments. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Okay, and now I've clicked on calendar and appointments. And then first you can see here, we're taken to display preferences. So this is where we can actually, you know, adjust a lot of the different preferences related to how the calendar will display for us. So visible hours, this is great. You can actually select which hours are visible on the calendar. So this is really nice. You know, if you don't want to see all the hours in the day, you don't have to. So in my example, I have 7 to 10 p.m. Typically, this will be a little bit different from your business hours, but it's really up to you what you want to see here. So you can only look at the hours that you want to see. Also, you can choose when you want your week to start. So this is really nice. You can have it start on either Sunday or Monday. And then I love this zoom level too. So this is really great. You can actually, and I'm going to click edit just to show you guys this because there's a lot of different options here. Mine's set to medium, but you can actually go all the way up to really large here. So you can go large, X large, etc., all the way up to this one. And this is really nice because if your business, for example, provides super short services, so like here it says less than 30 minutes, you know, maybe you're constantly booking something that's only 15 minutes, for example. If you zoom in more, it'll be really a lot easier to see that on the calendar. And then, you know, in contrast, if you're booking out longer services typically, then, you know, maybe you just want to use small or medium, for example. So I love this zoom level. It's really nice to customize that based on the types of services that you're offering. Also, you can check out, we have a visibility of canceled appointments setting. So this is really nice. You can actually choose which types of cancellations are shown on the calendar. And then you can also choose to show high contrast colors on the calendar as well. So just some good options to check out there so you can adjust your display further according to your preferences. I also wanted to show you guys a couple different scheduling options that we have as well. So again, all of these scheduling options are just going to help you customize your appointments even further. So there's just a couple things that live here. Appointment increments. Again, this just basically lets you select the increments which can be booked. And so if I go ahead and click on edit, you can see we can do 5 minutes or 15 minutes. So it's really up to you in terms of what you want to have that set to. I'm just going to leave mine at 5 minutes. And then this is where we actually can enable the buffer time and processing and finishing time that we already talked about. So definitely if you want to have those, you would want to make sure that these were enabled first. As you can see in my account, those are already enabled. And then from there, you can go where I already showed you before, where you just go to your services and kind of adjust the settings further from there in terms of adding specific buffer times and processing and finishing time to your different services. So lots of good settings here to take a look at. There's also, we won't go through all of these today, but there's a lot of other additional settings I encourage you to check out, specifically that live in calendar and appointments. So you can adjust your waiting room, cancellations, and of course, express booking, which is a wonderful feature we have. I highly encourage you to check out our other webinar that we have about express booking specifically. So those are just some further ways you can customize your calendar to really meet the needs of your salon or spa business. So now I've given you a tour of the calendar and we've looked at a few different scheduling options, display preferences, things like that. Now I want to show you guys how easy it is to actually create a new appointment on the calendar. So let's go ahead and go back to our calendar. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. All right. And so we've actually, I'm on the calendar now. And so I'm going to go ahead and just create a new appointment and show you guys what it looks like to create a new appointment. So let me go ahead here and I'm just actually going to use this week view here. Let's say we're going to go ahead and book an appointment for Harriet. And so I'm just going to go ahead and all we need to do is we click on the calendar where we want to have that appointment. And then let's just say I want to book something out for November 6th. So I'm going to go ahead and just click right here. And then I just search for my client. Okay, so I've selected Tracy Ray's. And then we just go ahead and proceed to book the client. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and let's just say she wants to get a blowout. So we'll go ahead and click that. And then all we need to do is click book appointment. We'll just disregard that. That's because I'm in demo mode. So now, as you guys can see, that has been booked and it's showing as confirmed. And then something else that is really cool about booking in the calendar here is that you can book multiple services in the same appointment if you want to. So let me show you guys an example of what that would look like. So let's go ahead and we'll stay on Harriet's schedule for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and just choose a different client. So let's say we want to book something for Yolanda. So I'm going to go ahead and just click, and then we're just going to go ahead and choose the services that she wants to book. Okay, so I'm going to book a Swedish massage, and then we'll go ahead and choose our treatment areas. Perfect. And then what we can do is we can actually go ahead and book another service for her in the same appointment. So let me go ahead and just add another one. So all you need to do is click on add service. Okay, and let's see, she's also going to go ahead and get a pedicure. Okay, there we go. So now this is nice because when you're looking at this, you can see one of two and then two of two. So you know that Yolanda is actually getting two different services within the appointment that she booked on Monday, November 6th. So really easy to do that. I'll just go ahead and click book appointment. And then there we go. So now we have two services that are booked for that appointment. So you may be wondering, what if you want to go back and edit an appointment's details? So let's go ahead and just choose one of our upcoming appointments. So I'm going to go ahead and just click here. Let's say, for example, we want to edit this brow wax here for Mark Campbell. So this is actually really easy to update. All you need to do is go ahead and just use this icon up here, this pencil icon, to edit that. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. And, we can change this. So let's say, for example, that we want this to be for 45 minutes instead. So we're going to extend it just a little bit longer. All you need to do is make the changes that you want to, and then you just save, and that is saved. So super easy to do that. So something else I want to show you in terms of creating appointments, and this will probably come up for a lot of you pretty frequently, is that you may want the ability to schedule repeating appointments. So you can actually reschedule repeating appointments with just a couple of clicks. Let me go ahead and show you guys how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new appointment. So let's just make one here for 6 p.m. on Monday, and we'll go ahead and select our client. Okay, we'll choose Richard Martin. And Richard is going to come in for a brow wax. Okay, so I've selected that. And then all we need to do is actually book the appointment. And then if we want to make that appointment repeating, all we need to do is click on these three dots that we have right here. And then you can see here we have this option to make repeating. So I'm going to go ahead and make repeating, and then all you need to do is specify the frequency. So just click that, and then we could do whatever we want. So let's just say we want to do every 8 weeks, for example. So I'll go ahead and click that, and then we just save. And that's all you need to do. And then kind of going back to those icons we were talking about before, now you see the circle icon here with the circled arrows. So now that we know that is repeating, and you can see here that repeats every 8 weeks. So really love that feature. It's perfect for somebody who wants to come in for their regularly scheduled services and getting maintenance. Maybe they want to get a bang trim every 4 weeks, or they want to get a manicure every 3 weeks, something like that. So that is super easy to set up in your Mangomint calendar as well. So, I love our calendar. It's, as you guys can see here, as you proceed through your day, it's really easy to see everything at a glance. So let's say, for example, we have somebody in and they're actually ready to check in. I want to show you guys how that works as well in the calendar. So what we're going to go ahead, and I showed you guys this a little before, but let's go over it again. So let's click on this gel pedicure, for example. So again, this one is confirmed. We're going to go ahead and check in Keith Barker for his gel pedicure. So I'm going to go ahead and click check in, and then I'm going to go ahead and say waiting room. So we saw this before. Now this has turned purple. And then if you want, you can either notify or you can go ahead and put somebody in service as well. Okay, and I want to show you guys too what it actually looks like when you have a client that's waiting in the waiting room. So this one, for example, this appointment was already supposed to start. Maybe they're running a little late coming in. So we went ahead and put them in the waiting room. What you guys will notice now is that you can see that this icon has appeared in the lower left corner here. This is the waiting room icon. So this has appeared. And so if you actually click on this, now you can see which clients are waiting. And so we can actually see that Dennis McDonald is waiting here. And we just go ahead and click on that and we can see him there. And then if we want to go ahead and start the appointment, then we would just click in service, and then that icon will disappear. So yeah, this is a really great kind of tour of the calendar. I really love Mangomint's single screen scheduling and checkout as well. So this is something you guys will kind of notice here is that on the left side, you can see your entire calendar and the schedule, but then you can also still check out clients at the same time on the right side. So you have kind of the side-by-side view, and you never have to leave, you never have to leave your view of the calendar. You always have that, you can keep an eye on the schedule and while you're checking out your appointments. So I love that as well. All right, let me just check and see if there's any questions that have come in. I think it's a good time to pause for those. So let me just check our chat. Okay. Oh, this is a good question that came in. So somebody has asked, is there a way to save and come back to a checkout? So I love that question. I'm really glad that you asked that, Tom, because we didn't get a chance to go over that yet in the webinar. So that is a great question, and you can definitely save a checkout and come back to it in Mangomint. And I'll show you guys actually how to do this in a second. But basically, you can save a checkout and come back to it later as long as it doesn't have any associated payments and if it's not yet completed. So let's, for example, I'm just going to go ahead and pretend that we're going to check out an appointment here. Okay, so let's go here. Let's say that we're going to go ahead and check out Jamie Thomas, Creative Color right here. Or actually, let me choose one let me go back to my day view. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually check out this brow lamination as an example. So we'll first confirm it, check in, we'll say in service, and then now we're going to actually go to check this out. So we just click on checkout. And then let's say, for example, that Mark Davidson, let's say that he started to add maybe some products, he's checking out our retail products available. I'm just going to go ahead and add some shampoo here. Okay, bright blonde shampoo. Let's say that's been added. But let's say, for example, that Mark, he's still browsing our products, things like that. He wants the shampoo, but, he's kind of still eyeing some of the other products that we have set up at the front desk. And so you've kind of added that on there, but you're not fully ready to finish the checkout yet. All you actually need to do is go ahead up here and then click save. And let's say, for example, too, this could be a common scenario where you're in the middle of checking out Mark, But let's say that you also just had somebody else coming into your salon and spa for their service, for example. It's time for their appointment. You want to make sure you can greet them right away and check them in right away. But you don't want to lose the progress that you started on Mark's checkout here. So all you need to do is click on save. That'll save that progress. It'll save that product that we added. Then we can go over, let's say, for example, we'll pop over here to Mark Ray's. We'll just go ahead and check in, for example. So we'll go ahead and say in service. And then let's say, for example, now Mark has finished, checking out all the different products. He maybe decided that he wanted to buy something else and he's ready to officially pay and check out. So all we need to do is go back there and just hit continue. And then we go here. Let's say, for example, that he also, oops, I can't spell. Let's say that he also wanted to add this bright blonde conditioner. So he finally made his product choices and he has decided to buy the shampoo and the conditioner together. So now you're ready to check out. So now you can jump right back into your checkout and then you just click go to payments. And then from there, you can just check out the sale like normal. We can add the tip and then just pay with a credit card. So, and charge it. So that's super easy to do. It's really easy to, jump out of the checkout if you need to, check in another client, schedule something else, do whatever you need to, and then come back and finish the checkout. So that was a great question. Thank you for asking that. Okay, well, it looks like that is all of the questions we have today. So that wraps up today's feature spotlight covering our calendar and appointments, giving you guys a great tour of the calendar, showing you kind of your different options for customizing the calendar, how to view the status of your appointments at a glance, and also, how to do some basics in terms of creating appointments, editing them, things like that. But let us know if you have any questions as you're using the calendar and scheduling your appointments further, and we'll be happy to dive deeper with you on any of these topics. All right, well, thank you so much for joining, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye.